Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're diving into a really interesting stack of sources. At first glance, they look pretty separate, right? Finance, tech, philosophy.
Yeah, totally different fields, seemingly.
But our mission here is to show you how these three areas, specifically through the work of Morgan Housel, DHH, and Naval Ravikant, actually weave together. They form, well, a kind of unified philosophy for thinking about success today.
It's fascinating, isn't it, how they converge? We're
Yeah.
pulling from Morgan Housel, the psychology of money guy,
Right.
then David Heinemeier Hansson, DHH, co-founder of Basecamp, creator of Ruby on Rails,
Mm-hmm.
big voice in tech,
Mm-hmm.
and Naval Ravikant, who kind of blends that stoic thinking with startup logic.
Yeah, if you just look at the titles, you might think, okay, this is about investing or maybe coding or just general life advice.
Exactly. But what we found and what we want to unpack
Yeah.
is that they're all hitting the same fundamental notes.
Mm-hmm.
Just, using different instruments, money, work, leverage.
In that underlying message.
It really boils down to this: freedom through simplicity. It's quite powerful. All three are pushing for a different kind of success. Not the flashy, explosive growth kind, but something calmer.
Sustainable.
Sustainable, exactly.
Yeah.
Focused on personal independence.
Mm.
It's about building success quietly, away from all the noise.
Okay, so that's the plan for this deep dive. We're going to pull out the core lesson from each of them, Housel, DHH, Naval, and show how they fit together into this, well, you called it Zen for the modern age.
Yeah, and that's the idea.
Let's kick things off with Morgan Housel. His book looks like finance. It's often in that section, but you're saying it's deeper than that.
Oh, absolutely. Housel makes it super clear. Success with money isn't primarily about what, like complex market analysis or finding the next hot stock.
Okay.
It's much more about how you behave. It's about managing your own emotions, fear, greed, impatience. Those are the real drivers. So his book isn't really a finance textbook.
Yeah.
It's more like a manual for staying sane with money.
And a key part of that sanity, I think, is how he reframes what financial success even is. It's not just about the number in your bank account, is it?
Not at all. He completely shifts the focus.
Yeah.
Housel argues pretty convincingly that the highest form of wealth, the real point of money, is giving you control over your time.
Control over time, not control over, say, other people or fancy things.
Precisely. Money's ultimate value is buying independence, flexibility, the ability to wake up and say, I can do what I want today.
I think that really hits home for a lot of people listening. You chase a bigger paycheck thinking it's for buying more stuff.
Right.
But Housel suggests maybe that paycheck should be buying fewer obligations, fewer demands on your calendar.
Exactly right. And that ties directly into how he talks about spending. It's not just earning, it's spending.
Yeah.
He says how you spend your money reveals more about your real values than how you earn it.
Interesting. So are you spending to impress others, to keep up appearances?
Or are you spending to sort of buy back your own peace of mind? That's the crucial distinction.
And the peace of mind spending, that's where the real return is found.
Yes, because it's intentional spending. It's not about being a painful miser. It's about figuring out what truly matters to you. Maybe it's security, time with family, work flexibility, and then aligning your spending with that.
Not just spending to maintain some lifestyle you don't even really enjoy just to look good.
That, he implies, is the definition of financial failure.
Mm.
Spending on things that don't bring you actual value, just status points with people you don't know.
Okay, let's connect this to the idea of learning, absorbing information. Our sources pointed out a specific analogy Housel uses.
Ah, yeah, the funnel and filter. It's a great one. Housel says something like, you should have a wide funnel when choosing topics, but a narrow filter while consuming.
Wide funnel, narrow filter. Let's unpack that a bit. How does that apply if you're trying to learn, trying to make sense of things?
Well, the wide funnel means being open, exploring broadly. Don't shut yourself off from new ideas initially.
Okay, be curious.
Be curious. But the narrow filter, that's about being selective. Really critical. You expose yourself to lots of stuff, but you only let a few things really sink in and influence you. The things that genuinely resonate, that prove useful, that align with your core principles.
So you filter out the noise. Most of it is just noise.
Exactly. You're filtering for the signal, for the actual wisdom in all that information. It requires ruthless curation.
And if we bring that curation idea back to money,
It's the same principle. Filter your spending as rigorously as you filter information. The key takeaway from Housel is, don't just focus on earning. Spend consciously, based on your own filter, your own values.
because the return on peace, on controlling your own time.
That return, calculated over a lifetime of happiness, often dwarfs the financial return on investment. It's about long-term well-being.
That idea of choosing peace, choosing calm over chaos. It feels like a perfect bridge to our next thinker, DHH, David Heinemeier Hansson.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because DHH takes that same philosophy of intentional calm and applies it smack bang into the world of tech and startups, which is usually anything but calm.
Right. Silicon Valley practically worships chaos, speed, massive scale. DHH seems to be swimming against that current.
Completely. Through Basecamp, through his writing, he's basically leading this quiet rebellion. If Housel helps you buy back your time, DHH shows you how to use that time building something meaningful and crucially sustainable, rather than just chasing explosive growth at all costs.
Yeah, the tech narrative is often about the all-nighters, the hockey stick growth charts, the idea that you have to burn out to be brilliant.
Yeah.
How does DHH counter that?
His whole philosophy is built around sustainability and, again, intention. His core message is, you don't need to grow incredibly fast to be successful or make an impact. You need to grow right.
Grow right. What does that mean in practice?
It means building deliberately. His books, like Rework or It Doesn't Have to Be Crazy at Work, they're essentially manifestos against that whole hustle culture myth. They champion things like clarity, good craftsmanship, a predictable, calm work environment, 40-hour weeks even.
Wow, in tech. But doesn't that put you at a disadvantage? I mean, if everyone else is fueled by venture capital and aiming for 10x growth, isn't the slow lane just getting left behind?
That's the perceived risk, sure.
Yeah.
And DHH acknowledges that tension. But he's not arguing against ambition itself. He's arguing against needless ambition, the kind often forced on companies by external pressures like VCs or just ego.
Ah, okay.
He's a huge advocate for things like bootstrapping, building a profitable company that serves its customers and its employees well, rather than just optimizing for an exit or an IPO. It's about designing the business to support a good life, not twisting your life into knots to serve the business's crazy demands.
So it's like he's taking Housel's individual principle of buying back time and building it into the structure of the company itself.
Exactly. The company itself respects people's time and sanity. He focuses on the satisfaction of doing high-quality work without that constant, frantic pressure cooker environment. He actually argues that constraints saying no to features, complexity, unnecessary scale lead to better work, more focused work.
It's a kind of less is more approach to building a business.
Precisely. It's a philosophy of, winning by opting out of the noise, achieving financial success and operational sanity, not choosing one over the other.
So for anyone listening who feels crushed by modern work expectations, DHH offers a kind of permission slip.
Absolutely. Permission to slow down, focus on quality, focus on work you're genuinely proud of, work that endures, not just work that makes a lot of noise for a short time.
That's the takeaway then. Focus on pride and sustainability in your work, not just volume or buzz. Deliberate, calm creation.
Yeah, that compounds over the long haul.
Okay, this is great. We've got Housel on managing money for time, DHH on managing work for sanity. Now let's bring in Naval Ravikant, who you said sort of ties it all together.
Yeah, Naval acts almost like the meta-philosopher here. He pulls in ancient wisdom, like Stoicism, but connects it to very modern things like tech, leverage, network effects. And he starts by being really precise about language. He insists, seek wealth, not money or status.
Wealth, not money or status. We use those terms almost interchangeably sometimes. Why is that distinction so important for him?
Because chasing the wrong thing leads you down a bad path, essentially. Money, he'd say, is just a tool for transfer, an IOU. It's temporary.
Okay.
Status is your rank in the social hierarchy. It's inherently competitive, often a zero-sum game. For you to go up, someone else often has to go down. It breeds comparison and anxiety.
Right, the keeping up with the Joneses trap.
Exactly. But wealth is different. Wealth is the engine that actually generates freedom. It's the goal.
So how does he define wealth specifically? What makes it that engine?
His definition is concise and powerful. Wealth is assets that earn while you sleep.
Ah, there it is. That's the key phrase.
That's the one. Think businesses that run without you constantly pushing. Investments generating returns, maybe rental properties, or even intellectual property like code or content that works for you 24/7. That's the only way to decouple your time from your income.
Which gets us back to Housel's control over time and DHH's sustainable systems.
It connects them perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Earning while you sleep is how you achieve genuine freedom.
Now, this links into Naval's ideas about leverage, which feel very current, very modern.
Very much so. Historically, leverage meant having capital, like lots of money or land or commanding large groups of people, labor.
And getting access to that kind of leverage usually required permission, right? From banks or governments or powerful figures.
Exactly. You needed gatekeepers to say yes. That's why Naval's concept is so revolutionary. He talks about leverage without permission.
Okay, permissionless leverage. What forms does that take today? How can just anyone access it?
He identifies three main types for the modern era: code, capital, and content or media.
Code, capital, content. Why are those permissionless?
Because they can scale massively with near zero marginal cost. You write a piece of code once, it can be used by billions. You create a compelling piece of content, it can reach a global audience almost instantly via the internet. You deploy capital smartly in markets, it can grow exponentially. You don't need anyone's approval to start writing code, creating content, or learning to invest modest amounts.
You don't need a factory or a huge staff anymore to have potentially huge impact.
Precisely. That ability to scale your judgment, your specific knowledge, infinitely. That's the superpower of the modern individual, the creator. It's the antidote to just trading time for money, or DHH's critique of endless hustle.
Instead of just working harder, you apply leverage to work smarter.
That's the core idea. And Naval himself embodies this, right? His public thinking, his interviews, his famous tweet storms. It's like this open source philosophy project, as our sources put it. He uses content leverage constantly to share complex ideas widely.
So the big takeaway from Naval is optimize for leverage.
Optimize for leverage, yes, but start by optimizing your thinking, your mind. Leverage amplifies whatever you apply it to. So apply to good judgment. Leverage your mind first. Then use that clarity to leverage your time effectively through code, capital, or content.
Get the thinking right, apply leverage, and the results follow.
That seems to be the formula. The external stuff, the wealth, becomes a byproduct of setting up those intelligent systems.
Okay, let's pull this all together now, the synthesis. It really is striking how these three voices, from finance, tech, and philosophy, all ended up pointing in such a similar direction.
It really is. And what's cool is that they don't just repeat each other. They kind of provide different pieces of a complete puzzle for navigating life today.
Right. Housel gives us the mental model for money, how to think about it sanely, protect our behavior.
Protect our time,
Yeah.
ultimately. Then DHH gives us the blueprint for work, how to build calmly, sustainably, independently, protecting our process, our sanity.
Yeah. And then Naval provides the overarching framework for life, how to live freely, intentionally, using leverage smartly, protecting our mind, our most valuable asset.
And the common thread tying them all together, it's this quiet but powerful rejection of the modern obsession with more. More speed, more scale, more status, more noise.
They all value something else.
They all value clarity over complexity. They value focus over frenzy. And ultimately, they value freedom over fame. The timeless lesson seems to be that real freedom, real satisfaction, isn't found by chasing more and more. It's built by choosing less, but choosing better. Making intentional choices about what truly matters.
So for you listening right now, feeling maybe pulled in a million directions by social media, by work pressure, by the news cycle telling you to go faster, bigger, what's the message here?
I think the message is that these three offer a powerful counter-narrative, a kind of permission structure, really. They remind us that the things that truly matter, wisdom, meaningful work, real wealth, peace of mind, they don't compound overnight. It's not a sprint.
It's a slow build.
It's a slow build, brick by brick. They give you the justification to maybe step off the hamster wheel that society sets up the endless status game and start focusing on winning your own internal game, the game of independence, calm, and meaningful contribution.
That's a really powerful way to frame it. So to wrap this up, the actionable blueprint we've kind of uncovered is be curious and mindful with your money like Housel. Build things calmly and sustainably like DHH.
Right.
And think clearly about leverage and true wealth like Naval.
Exactly. And maybe the final thought to leave you with, we've talked a lot about aligning time, wealth, and meaning. It seems like whenever you feel that pressure to just move faster, chase the next shiny object, react to the noise, that's often a sign that you're losing sight of what actually matters. You're losing clarity.
So clarity is the real objective.
I think that's the real game these three are teaching. Not speed, but clarity. So the provocative question for you to mull over is this. If success is really a slow build based on intentional, clear choices, what's the one decision you can make today, maybe in your spending or your work habits or how you apply your unique skills that would align more closely with your deepest values and set a fundamentally better course for the next 5 or 10 years? What's that first clear brick you can lay? Start there.